Hey guys, got a quick one for you today. So we are on a no cool call, and the customer and the customer's neighbor was complaining about a loud crackling noise coming from one of these two units. And I did my preliminary checks and went check the thermostats and check the filters, and I checked the metering devices so I know what I was looking for when I came out and put my gauges on. But this is one of the most important reasons you need to check all units for specific metering devices. See this first 4-ton unit right here? I went up and someone had removed the TXV, and so it had a piston in there, but this unit over here that was right beside it still had the old TXV in it. And if I had only looked in one of those units, I would have only seen one metering device and assumed that the other one had the same, and my refrigerant readings would be all off because I would be charging this one by superheat, or vice versa, charging the other one by, subcooling, when I would be looking for superheat. So kind of really important to be thorough and check all the cabinets and check all the simple things first, because it'll save you a ton of time. It'll save you a ton of time in the long run. Another quick thing that I do is I write whether it's a TXV and the tonnage on each of the units after I check, because as you can see, these labels don't last very long in the weather. And I write them on the inside coil and on the outside unit, so the next guy that comes, if it's not me, or if it is me, I don't have to go check again to see which metering device is up there, so I can take proper readings. And it's super fast and it's super easy, and it saves people a ton of time in the long run. Okay, so when I got here, I couldn't figure out what kind of crackling the customer was talking about or which unit it was coming from. But I gauged up on both of them and checked all the electrical stuff inside and everything, and then I began to hear it, and it sounded like a bug zapper. I wasn't sure if there was something in the fan that was failing, but guys, look, this is what I had found. It goes back to that being thorough thing. Whoever changed this motor, put this motor in, or was troubleshooting it last, just didn't zip tie any of these wires up. So these are freely just dangling in the casing right here. I didn't cut any zip ties or anything. And it actually looks like it's connected by a wiring harness down there. All of these wires were rubbing on something. And that crackling noise he was hearing, it really sounded like it was the fan blade that was hitting this and shorting it out. So we're gonna get these cut and connected back together, and we will see if we still hear the noise from somewhere else too. These are what I'm going to be using to connect the wires back together. I'm a huge fan of these. They fit inside each other like that, and then we can tape them up. Anytime in the future, if this motor needs replaced, you can just easily disconnect the wires right there and crimp on some new ones and reconnect them, all from inside. Just what I prefer to use. That works well for me. to get a good crimp on these things, because it can definitely cause some arcing if anything's loose. Common was starting to get rubbed through, but none of the insulation's affected. It just took the color off the top. So it looks like that was the only arc we were getting. So I'm just gonna put some electrical tape around this guy as insurance, and then secure these wires in here. Also, I learned this from another fellow YouTuber. Keeping a case of these or a pill organizer. I prefer to use this. I found it at Home Depot for like $3 or $4. And I keep this in my tool bag, and it has everything that I'm gonna need. When you're going up on roofs or have to walk long distances from the van, this thing will save your life. So I highly recommend keeping one of these in your tool bag. And I got this field piece bag right here. And this bad boy has a special spot for it right there. So just a quick recap. We had a call about a strange noise coming from a condenser, and I arrived and inspected the units, checked out everything on the inside, made sure everything was calling, made sure the filters were clean, and double checked both metering devices on both systems. and when I came out, checked my refrigerant levels, checked my subcooling, and checked my superheat. I didn't find any issues there. Checked the capacitors, wiring connections, looking for any type of arcing, and then I began to hear the noise on this unit right here. And it sounded like a bug zapper. It's because the fan blade was intermittently hitting one of the line wires to the fan motor. And before I even touched this unit, after I heard the noise, I connected my multimeter to parts on the condenser and the ground on one of the suction pipes to test for voltage as I was hearing the cracking, and I didn't get any voltage readings on my meter, so I knew it wasn't well, I guessed that it wasn't going to be too dangerous with me working on it and trying to find out where that noise was coming from as it was happening. But I shut the unit off. I found the short on the motor wires and fixed it, and the unit shouldn't be making that noise again, and potentially save the customer a new fan motor. But we'll see. It could have already damaged the motor internally, shorting out like that. So who knows how long that's been happening, but we're just gonna keep an eye on it. And again, thanks for watching. If you like what you saw, leave a like, and we'll catch you on the next one.